Welcome to Putting the Pieces Together, a video podcast where I monologue on philosophical concepts, thought-provoking quotes, and ramble about general ideas, all while playing a relaxing yet mentally stimulating game of Tetris. Enjoy. In this first episode of this video series, I thought it'd be apt to start in a more expository manner. I wanted to start by explaining why this is even here. Why is this even a thing? Why did I decide to create this? Well, it all really starts with a memory of playing games with friends one late night, actually multiple late nights, and getting to that point we decide this has been fun, but time to wind down, go to bed. So I said good night, goodbye, set times and dates to play again. And before I got up from my chair, before I left my desk, I decided, why not play a couple of rounds of Tetris? Figured it'd be something relaxing, wind the brain down from the competitive nature of the games we were playing. And I found myself multiple levels in, listening to the music, watching the lights, thrilled by how rotating the pieces and moving around added beats to the music, almost like I was a conductor of an orchestra. And I found myself in a state, not just relaxed, but almost like I was floating. Like my hands were moving on their own, purely connected to my body, and my brain was free to wander elsewhere. My brain did wander. Started thinking of conversations I've never had, conversations I'd like to have, discussions of topics and ideas, what I thought about things and what I haven't thought about before. That being said, what I want to think about and discuss right now is beginnings. And to do so, I thought I'd start with a prompt, a quote to get my brain going and really just get the discussion going. This is a quote by Greek philosopher Plato, student of Socrates, teacher of Aristotle, that one. In his work, The Republic, he says, quote, "The beginning is the most important part of the work." Now, in all fairness, if I remember correctly, that quote is in context of Plato discussing the idea of how to deal with a child in their formative years, how to properly educate them in order to build a proper society, so forth and so what? I don't really remember what you're supposed to say after so forth, but regardless, if I remember correctly again, I think the whole quote, and apologies for not being better researched, but like I said, it's the beginning, I'll come up later, is the beginning is the most important part of the work, especially for those young and tender. Again, he was talking about children. But I think the quote still is relevant. Personally, I believe that creative endeavors unto themselves are like children. They're the child of their creators. A painting is the child of the painter, a song, the child of an artist, so forth. And again, I don't know what you say after so forth. I'll say so what? So forth and so what? So, which I guess would make this video series, video podcast, whatever I said in the intro, I haven't recorded that part yet, spoilers, or reverse spoilers, would make this my child. But to make it a little less surreal, I think the beginning is the most important part of the work. I think it's important in any and all creative endeavors. I think it's important to create things with intention and clarity from the very beginning. Like a child in its formative years, I believe the potential of a project is influenced by its initial formation. I believe when you have an idea for something and a creative endeavor, that you should think of what you want it to be in the future, what impact you want it to have on others and yourself. Why are you creating it? What desire or urge or inclination is it fulfilling? I think it's kind of like, if someone were to have a child, once they find out that they're going to have a child, their brain starts thinking of the future, of perhaps grandchildren or future accomplishments and accolades a child might have. A baby that's crawling, you imagine its first steps, though it hasn't walked yet, but you imagine it will come, and it excites you, and you look forward to it, and you treat the child as such to try to encourage it. I think that when you create something creative, to be redundant in it, is I think that what you hope for when you start to make something can have an influence on its possibilities, like where it could go in the future, because I feel like so often creative things can branch into another. I'm being kind of vague. Let me be more specific, more personable to myself. That was a cool song. This video, I had the idea to create it because I want to share that feeling I had that late night playing this game, sitting, thinking, dreaming while awake almost, of being relaxed but very mentally engaged. I want to share that feeling. I want to talk, I want to discuss, I want to introduce ideas in the world, or even discuss ideas already there. And my hope is that as I continue to create these, I'll get better at it. Definitely will get more research at it, more prepared at it, and maybe one day I'll get to a point where this can really be impactful to someone, and if regardless, be impactful to me. I believe one of the coolest, yet at least for myself, reward of creating something that I never think of, I'll at least always forget until I experience again, is looking back and seeing what you created. I think of it like being at the beginning of a forest where the clearing meets the trees, and you think to yourself, oh, that's a cool forest, probably a lot of pretty trees in there. But as you walk deeper and deeper into the forest, eventually you can turn back and look at your footsteps and be like, I really walked all the way through. Look at all these pretty trees, these flowers, these bushes, these scents, these smells, these sights, these animals, these chirps, all this experience that I've experienced in just walking down this path that I wouldn't have if I didn't walk, if you didn't enter. One thing to dream of the trees, but you can walk in there yourself. With this video series, one day, probably next week, or whenever I post the next one, I can look back and be like, wow, I made 2 of those, and one of them's better than the other. And I think that's another thing too. I feel like so often what can inhibit us, at least myself again, from making things is a fear of failure to a degree, or rather an unfair expectation or desire of perfection from the jump. It's easy, or at least simple, to intellectualize, comprehend, cognitize, I like synonyms, that there's no such thing as perfection. You know that, I know that. Perfectionists know it, and yet they're still perfectionists. And I don't even claim myself to be a perfectionist. I claim more of a bare minimalist. I believe that at least I just gotta do a passing grade's worth of work. I'll probably desire to do more, and I'll try to do more, but I believe it's my responsibility to myself to at least do that much. Now, here's the thing. Outside of a structured classroom, there's no rubric for a lot of things, especially for your own project. There's no teacher, there's no rubric. If it ain't commission, if it's for you, by you, best to be seen by you, likely to only be seen by you, the only person judging it, at least at its birth, is you. So I find what stops me from making something, or at least procrastinating for way too long, is just the idea that it's not good enough yet. I haven't reached the bare minimum of quality. That just doesn't work. Like, for instance, for example, to be more tactile with this description, analogy, whatever, this video doesn't have all the best qualities, or rather the qualities of this video, while present, are not up to par with the standard I had in my head when I first had the idea. I imagine it's like an architect, and at this point you've probably realized I'm very fond of imaginings and metaphors, analogies and whatnot, but bear with me, I beg. I imagine it's like being an architect and having an idea for a mansion or a castle, and then you buy some cement or some bricks or whatever mansions and castles are made out of, rocks and money. You get a big pile of that, some glue, plaster, and adhesives. You get a roof, a doorknob, some shingles, a hinge or two, tiles. You throw it all together on your first try, or at least even in the schematics, and you realize, I have made a mansion or a castle, and this on paper is what I designed, but it is not. The walls aren't as thick as I wanted. The tiles aren't as shiny as they were in my head. Just stuff like that. It's not good enough yet. You haven't reached the bare minimum you set for yourself, with no rubric, no guidelines, no basis. So with this video, I had a myriad of things to consider. How long would it be? How long would I talk? Do I talk the whole time? Do I take pauses and breaks? Well, guess I figured out the break part. But I realized that the longer I take just questioning myself if I'm able to make it perfect. I don't know how many audio tests. I did multiple ways of trying to record it, of getting the gameplay and my voice and everything. And I realized all this time, those could have been multiple videos made. And also that the guideline, or at least the baseline I was trying to reach, didn't exist. I had not provided myself a rubric. I was just going until eventually I figured I'd feel like it was ready. But then I should have known better, because this happens every time I make something. It was never gonna come. But thankfully I had people around me and in my life to the deadline, and oh boy, I hate the deadline. Always have, hopefully won't always, as I grow and mature, but I had a deadline for this video and I was gonna make it. So, deadline coming up, I asked myself, is this video the video I wanted to make? Is this a video essay podcast, whatever I called in the intro, discussing philosophical concepts or general life topics and ramblings behind or at least over top of mentally stimulating and not as relaxing as I expected as I'm playing a game of Tetris. yes to all of those. And most importantly, am I creating it with the intention that I had when I initially formed the idea? And that I knew in my heart of hearts, my brain of brains, soul of souls, everything I had, I knew it was true. I knew it was. Because even if I doubted, my ears, my eyes, or my judgment, I couldn't doubt my heart. And I knew my intentions were pure. So I'm making it, and I will post it by the deadline, and I'll make another one, and another one, and another one, and hopefully, ideally, probably, it'll get better and better and better. Here's an interesting thing I heard, almost actually pretty recent to this recording, is that if you make 500 things, one of those things is gonna be the 500th worst one you made, just due to the nature of things. I feel like that brought me some clarity, I guess to be said, or maybe just some solace, of that, not every piece of work you make is going to be your best work. And if the whole idea is to get better and better, then that in itself guarantees that you will make something you will deem not as good. So, for instance, if the next episode of this series is better than this episode, and the next episode is better than that, and that, and that, and I get more research, more concise, more clear, better quality, better relaxing, better entertainment, better everything, then for that to happen, this one has to be the worst one. But maybe I hit it on the nail at the beginning and I've already peaked, and that is a lot less thrilling than the former prediction. I was gonna say predicament, but I guess there's another thing I have to figure out. Am I gonna edit out my verbal typos or not? Probably won't. It would take too long. And I find that, at least for me, when I'm listening to someone talk and formulate their ideas, work through their thought process out loud, I like hearing like their stumbles. It's almost like, going back to the walking analogy, I guess, it's almost like their gait, you know, the way their hips move, like how wide is their stride? Do they hit heel toe heel? So I feel like, you know, the stutters, the stumbles while talking, I feel it all adds to that and forms that, and lets you know that this is all on the fly. I'm thinking and talking at the same time, which I do enjoy. So thank you for listening. This level reminds me of, what movies remind me of? This level reminds me of Pitch Perfect, which is my only real connection, experience, I guess, interaction with acapella. But I think a part of it, and this is related, I think, maybe not, we'll see. I think a part of it is that because I know that this is just, or at least if it was acapella, I know that it's just, you know, humans making human noises. It feels very raw. There's no other third-party medium being used, like an instrument. And I say this as a appreciative instruments myself. There's just a person, their sound, their creativity. Maybe that's how it goes back, relates back to that. It's their own voice, voice podcast, video essay, whatever I called it in the beginning. I think that's what always strikes me about acapella. That being said, I will never claim to be a casual listener of acapella for musical entertainment purposes, but it's like tightrope walking. I don't seek it out, but if I see it, I'm impressed. The thing is, I'd like to introduce another quote. And this is by a little-known English writer. I'd like to introduce another quote, and this is by English writer William Shakespeare. I believe this is from Measure for Measure, one of his dark comedies. And it reads as such, quote, "Our doubts are our traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt." I feel like I need to read that again for my own sake. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. For context, I believe this is the part of Measure for Measure where one character is beseeching another character to not hesitate and to act to avoid something bad happening. I believe it is a man talking to a woman, asking the woman to talk to a relative or someone she knows in order to stop something from happening, and she is hesitating because she doesn't believe that she'll be able to do it or have that influence, and he is pretty much trying to convince her that her doubt that she is able to influence the outcome is stopping her from potentially doing good. And the way I'm relaying this back to this topic of beginnings and starting things and why we wait to start things, at least why I wait to start things, is that being too afraid, I believe, being too afraid to act robs from us whatever reward that inspired or spurred us on to act in the first place. I think that fear is an interesting thing to me. I don't respect fear. I don't regard it. This isn't a prepared quote for tonight, but I'll see if I can get it kind of accurately off the top of my head. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. That always kind of struck me, even as a child, or I'll say maybe a teenager, preteen, whatever. I would always say that I always say the thing I feared the most in most situations wasn't the situation, it was that I would potentially be afraid in the situation. Like, for instance, when I was, being young, you're wary of dark rooms and such. But the scariest part of me wasn't that there was something in the dark room to be scared of, something to be cautious of, something to be adverse to avoid for my own health and safety and well-being. It was that when I walk into that dark room, I was going to feel fear, and that was what I was afraid of. Hide and seek. Funny story, funny in hindsight. Funny ha ha, or funny weird. I'm sorry. But when I used to play hide and seek, I was pretty good at hiding. So people be walking pretty close to me and not realize I was just behind the couch or where I was hiding. But I would feel a sense of fear that, not that they were gonna expose me and be like, oh, I got you, jump out at me, but I would be afraid that when they found me, it would scare me. I just never liked the feeling of fear. So, bringing it back, doubt. I'm gonna read the quote again for my own sake to remind myself of the track I was on. Doubts do hurt. I'm pained by having doubts. Our doubts are traitors. Or I'm gonna try to say it in the Shakespearean way. This is gonna be terrible. Hold on. Forgive me in advance. Our doubts are our traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. I once heard, I forgot, some stage actor had said this in an interview of some sort, or was it some Shakespearean analysis man? I can't remember, but they said that Shakespeare is meant to be read and it's supposed to come off naturally, and you say it and reiterate it and reenact it as if you were saying it in your own time, for your own context. Regardless, this isn't a Shakespeare episode. That would be interesting to do though. But what I was saying is that fear, doubts are traitors. I think, at least in a creative sense, I don't think doubts are helpful. Doubts are like, they are traitors. They betray you when you think, oh, I can do this, and then you start to doubt, oh, maybe that won't work. For instance, like this video, to go back to this, make this completely narcissistic. I'm just playing. I was like, oh, I'll make this video, it'll be fun, you know, relaxing, mentally stimulating, could be some good conversation, enriching for me and whoever may watch this. Hopefully you tell me in the comments, I guess. Then, you know, your little doubt gremlin in the back of your mind, it's like, no one can relax to this. This is gonna be just straight waffle yapping. You're not gonna be saying anything enriching, or it's not gonna sound good, look good, feel good, come out good, be a good time making, be a good time posting, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying, blase, and that does nothing. And came back to me. The key thing about this that I do believe is that you have ideas, I have ideas. I believe actions are spurred on by desires. Well-intentioned or not, I believe there's a core-based desire to all behaviors and actions in psyche. There is a stimulus, there is a spark to that fire. So whatever makes me, you, I, whatever non-generalizing term we want to use that ignites the idea to do this thing, make this project, whatever that reason is, whatever that spark was, whatever reward or fulfillment or desire you thought you would get out of making that, even subconsciously, the moment you allow, I allow, and I have allowed multiple times, even while making this on video, the moment I allow doubt to stop me from acting on it, whatever reward I was attempting to get by doing it, it is stolen from me. It is snatched out of my hand, slapped to the ground like a personal trainer at a buffet. It only holds you back. It's only held me back. I don't know how long I've had this idea for, but I've had it long enough. I've had it longer than this video is taken to make. Realistically, I've no reason not to be transparent about this. This video in totality, not even totality, this video in actuality on the calendar probably took a couple days. If we're including like some of the mental effort. If I wanna estimate from creation to execution, from my brain to your ears and eyes, or whatever, honestly, my brain to your brain, neurons to neurons, probably took like a week, you know, maybe a couple weeks, if like we're including all the space in between the days where I was not thinking about it at all, because I do think that's important to step away from it to come back. But the point I'm trying to really get to here is this video could have came out last week. I could have been making the second video already. And you know, all things in due time, but I know, again, in my heart, which cannot fool me, and I will never be fooled by, well, I've been fooled by it many times, again, another video. But in my heart, I know the only reason so much time was added on to this coming out was because I doubted. I doubted and didn't fully believe. And as I record, I'll say this again, full transparency, as I record, this is this is very fulfilling. This is very enriching. This is exactly as I imagined. When I had the idea for this video series, when I was like, I want to share that feeling I had, I want to talk and discuss and communicate and share. The feeling I have right now, talking to the mic, looking at these bubbles popping, hearing these chimes chiming. Smile on my face, though you can't see it, but believe it, you can probably hear it. It is the reward, it is the spark, it is the stimulus, it is the desire I had. And right now, I'm eternally grateful that I acted on it and only allowed doubt to hold me back for so long. And I'm sure, well, not even sure, I can tell you that there are at least 2 other creative endeavors right now. I've said endeavors too many times. There are more projects that I'm currently working on or have ideas for. I have a whole journal to my right of me right now, collapsed shut, full of ideas that I've simply just doubted to not to. I've allowed doubt to hold me from working on. But to be more hopeful, positive spin, I don't think doubt don't got a good grip strength, you know? Doubt ain't never rock climbed. You don't do no forearm curls. It got soft hands and a weak will. And I know my will is stronger than that. For most of the time, depending time of the day. But I mean, just look. I mean, look at the colors, listen to the sounds. I'm also like doing way better at this game or at these levels than I thought. This is maybe the longest straight. Is it the longest straight I've played or the longest straight I've played without messing up? Which will probably jinx me, but that's okay. It's been almost half an hour. I'm satisfied. More importantly, I'm pretty proud of how, at least while I'm recording, who knows, I feel different when I'm editing. But I'm pretty happy with how this is going. This is the first time that this is essentially a solo podcast. It's essentially a monologue, improvised, unscripted, unwritten. Like I said, I'm a fan of synonyms. And since I'm just talking, I guess I can give the origin story on that as well. When I was a kid, I watched I watched a children's educational cartoon series by the name of Word Girl. And on that show, there was a character that always said synonyms or synonymous phrases of what they were saying as they were saying it, and I just thought that was lit, and it never left me. I've been doing this since I was a youth, which I'm sure was very fun for all the people I interacted with. And this level's a little hardcore. I'm not gonna lie. I do not like the vibes of this level, but you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get through it like the rest of them. Kind of like a motorcycle engine, just an engine. I got Back of Mice from Mars in the brain. Speaking of, since it just came out. It's like a 2090 show. Came out in the 90s, but there was another 80s. Back of Mice from Mars was a cartoon about anthropomorphic mice from Mars who rode motorcycles, and they were on Earth fighting. I believe it was like a frog. Usually a frog or just a man that looked very much like a toad. This is the part where I haven't run out of things to say. Quite the contrary, actually. I'm trying to stop myself from rambling too hard. Because when I do, Back of Mice from Mars comes up. But essentially, this is kind of what you could expect from future videos. I imagine, and I'll guarantee you that there will come more. This level is. I'm gonna try to beat this level fast, cause I don't know. Giving me anxiety. It's not giving me anxiety, but it is stressing me out. I guess a good thing to speak about would be the future of this channel, this series. While I was given the origin of this idea, I forgot to mention that while I did want to share the feeling and all that sentimental goodness, I also loved the name. Along with synonyms, I'm also a humongous, ginormous, enormous fan of alliteration. That would have been a lot cooler if I, instead of doing synonym bit after saying like synonyms, I had used alliteration to say I like alliteration. I'm more of into alliteration when I'm like writing, or it's harder when I'm improvising. It doesn't come quick as on the tongue as synonyms. But yeah, I love alliteration. I love cadence. Big fan of cadence. So when I had the idea for this channel, obviously when you're writing in the idea journal, you need a name to put down, and it just came to me. Putting the pieces together. You know, I'm just now noticing the figures at the bottom. I don't like this. I'm gonna be frank, I don't like this. You know? So let's see, I'm 24 away from the line max. I'm gonna max this out and get out of this level. Honestly, you might not even hear this part, because maybe later I'll just cut it. But this is bad juju. Nah, not bad juju, but it's just intense. I'm gonna lock in for a second. I will say that even though I'm playing on the lowest difficulty currently, something about knowing that I'm recording just makes playing games harder. I mean, I was never the best at Tetris, but this is about the point where I start realizing that I'm very much not the best at Tetris. Something about reaching that halfway mark really stresses that. It's almost a game over. But a little bit more. One is a little better. One aspect about beginnings that I really don't want to undersell, because I do fear I've been a bit, not pessimistic, but just talking about the anxious, apprehensive alliteration parts of creativity and beginnings. But it's not all doom and gloom. Humans are not weak beings. In fact, I believe quite the opposite. That's another video in the future. Beginnings spark hope. You know, new things are cool. Change is scary, but new is shiny and brand new and sparkling and coveted, and like I need some of that, you know? It's like new channel. That means a new channel banner. It means a new thumbnail, new title format, new description format. You know, gotta make thumbnails, gotta make a profile picture, gotta make a channel bio, make a new playlist, new links, new URL. I'll probably make a new Instagram for this channel. Since it's practically a podcast, might have to make a new, or make a Spotify for the channel. Like just new things. And at least new things are bring new things make new things. Like the last level, I didn't really like, but I got through it and I did my best, and now we're at a level which is pretty gosh darn sick. Just listen. I've never been around hate too much. Now on the moon. I mean, come on. Maybe it's because it's just late night when I'm recording this, but I mean, this is just vibes. And I wouldn't be experiencing this right now. You wouldn't be watching me experience this right now if I didn't start. Without the beginning. Ooh, hold on now. Hopefully it sounds as cool out loud as it does in my head, but we'll do it live. Without the beginning, you don't get to unwrap your present. Ooh. Ooh. I hope I still like that when I'm editing later, because I like that. I'm gonna say it again for my own sake. Like the quotes earlier. Anyway. Without the beginning, you can't unwrap your present. And who doesn't like wrapping presents? I don't know about you, but I love a good unwrapping presents. You're thinking, ooh, what's in there? What they get from me? What's it gonna do for me? How's it gonna change my life? I'm a different person now. Like this present for me? Yes, for you, right now. Imagine. I want you to take a finger and point at yourself. No, stop pointing at yourself. That's rude. I'm sorry, that was a dumb joke. But yes, for you. This moment right now is a present for you. By me, from me, but vice versa, vice. So forth and somewhat. There's a present for me too. Like, the reason I made this video was to share. The reason I make this series is to share. The reason I believe, to some degree, I haven't really thought about it, the reason we create is to share. Another video in the future. A lot of videos in the future, but guarantees a future. Ooh, I'm gonna add on to my little fake quote. Without the beginning, you can't unwrap your present or guarantee your future. I like that. You don't like that record? I like that record. I'm gonna make this a thing. If I remember, I'm gonna try to, by the end of every video, by the end of the discussion, if it's gotten somewhere, hopefully I've gotten some sort of epiphany or enlightenment or extracurricular. I try to force alliteration. I ran out of E words. That meant I have a new idea. But by the end of the video, I'm gonna try to think of a new quote, or at least like, well, quotes are just things you said, but you know, in the colloquial sense, quote. That's a horrible place. I'm so cooked. It's okay. It's been like 40 minutes. This is okay, but I'm panicking. Anyway, yeah. So since I fear my time may be up, 20 to 30, I might be able to make it. But still, I'm gonna say it one more time for posterity. Verbal typo there. Apologies. One time for the people in the back. Without the beginning, you can't unwrap your present or guarantee your future. Nodding my head, snaps. Like spoken word, but with music. I think that's called. Okay. This is the point of the video where the jokes get a little dumber. But hey, look at that. We did survive. On the moon. I feel like starting me halfway is kind of unfair, but it's okay. We persevere. Just twice now that I'm pretty sure I thought I was done and we're still going. I did already kind of hit that quote, which I feel like I'm not going to do too much better than, but that's just doubt. So, you know, I'll do what is either going to be nice to hear or just a little annoying. I'm gonna be thankful. Gratitude. Never hurt nobody. I'm thankful. It feels like I'm at like Thanksgiving dinner. I'm thankful for I don't know how to word that sentence, but essentially what I'm trying to say is that I'm getting more out of this than I expected. Maybe it's just narcissistic endorsement of hearing my own voice. I tried not to do the whole like casually saying narcissistic, because like, you know, psychologically speaking, it is like a whole thing. So like usually when you say that, you're not actually being narcissistic, you're just like speaking like self-centering yourself, but not like a negative way. But oh my gosh, I can feel the end coming of this level. I think the dolphins are distracting me. Anyway, get this off before I end. I really feel like I've learned something, and I want to thank you, if you made this far in the video, for having this discussion with me. Now, it was me monologuing, but just knowing you're listening or someone's listening, it's nice. And thank you. Hopefully, in the next video, which I will not allow myself to doubt and procrastinate on, because it'll either be better than this video or it'll be worse. Either way, it'll come out and it'll be out. Because like a child, regardless of its performance, I'm gonna love it anyway. And I am loving it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.